During the last decade, we have started to see clear and devastating effects of the climate change around the world. Climate change has become a worldwide crisis that threatens the whole stability of the biosphere. It has become clear that it's human activities that are responsible for climate change. The burning of fossil fuels in large quantities and release of methane into the atmosphere has warmed up our planet and continues to do so. The rapidly changing temperatures are causing changes to ecosystems and the stability of nature. The effects are worldwide, but they are especially highlighted in the Eastern Africa, where desertification is causing problems, access to water has decreased, and the loss of biodiversity has accelerated. These problems have the ability to cause major crises in vulnerable African countries. Linnankoski Senior Secondary School visited Kenya and explored the problems that the Kenyans are facing due to climate change. Farmers were especially concerned about the future because the weather patterns are becoming uncertain.
Last year, which was 2019, 10 years ago, it was the same weather pattern because we normally here in Kenya we get long rains from March up to July. And then the short rain comes here around October, and then end of November it just finishes. But this year we were expecting the long rains from March, but it never came. So the rain came around, it came very little. But then when it came to September, which is basically a dry season, the rain was heavy up to January, which is abnormal.
Methane is one of the main contributors of the greenhouse effect, and the growing amount of it in the atmosphere is accelerating climate change. The amount of methane is much smaller than the amount of carbon dioxide, but its effects are a lot more severe. The main source of methane are ruminants, for example cows and sheep. Methane is released when ruminants digest vegetation. For Kenyans, the main contribution to climate change is livestock, because demand for milk and meat is huge. This means that the methane emissions in Kenya are large, especially when Kenya is one of the largest exporters of livestock in Africa. For the future, it becomes more important that the amount of livestock is reduced to control the emissions. An interesting source of methane emissions are the ruminants of the savanna. Their amount isn't growing though, so they are not a major risk to the climate. The ruminants of the savanna are threatened due to rising temperatures and irregular weather patterns. Methane emissions are normal to nature, but the modern scale of livestock production is unhealthy to Earth. As we have now explored the negative effects of methane, we can also try to see what kind of benefit it has. It is a very flammable gas and it burns with a clean flame. It can also be burned to produce renewable energy. As we were in Kenya, we visited a local farmer, Darius, who collects methane produced by his livestock and uses it to cook food for his family. This is a good example of the various uses of methane. Later on our trip, we visited the University of Nairobi, where the professors told us more about the process of turning methane into energy.
This was mentally built to facilitate that biogas unit, renewable energy source. So for the moment we disposed all the beef herd, as the professor had already told you, and at the moment we are having a herd that we are growing, which are 12 in number. So from this herd we collect the manure. From the manure that we get from this animal is after feeding the animal what is known as TMR, total mixed ration, whereby we give them the maize clovers, napier, we combine with other concentrates and chicken waste material. Then they give us the manure. When they give us the manure, we input into the biogas unit. We are going to move there and see how the biogas unit looks like. We collect the manure, then put into that biogas unit. From there, we start the manure. We add water to the manure in the ratio of 1 to 2. Then we stir this manure into what is known as slurry. The slurry is what we input into the digester unit, where we have the microorganisms breaking this manure into methane. Methane is a gas that is produced and floats on the upper part of the digester. Then it is being pulled by a compressor on the kitchens, on tunnel up there, which is used for cooking. The rest of the waste, which comes as excess, we pump into the farm, the Napier farm. Then it's used for fertilization of the farm. Then from there, the manure is, the Napier is again cut and fed to the animals. It's like a rotational thing, in the sense that we are trying to conserve the environment and ensuring that the environment remains clean. Yeah.
For us in Africa, our main contribution to climate change is because of our livestock. In Africa, we have a lot of livestock through the pastoral community and everything. So one of the reason why we set up this unit as a faculty of agriculture, which has livestock, is to demonstrate that we are to reduce our footprints, and also demonstrate that we can be able to manufacture this gas, use it in our kitchen. So it is piped from here 1.6 kilometers up to the kitchen, where the kitchen is. That's where it is being utilized.
It is clear that climate change is an immediate threat to Kenya, and to combat it, methane emissions have to be reduced. As was shown at Darius's farm and the University of Nairobi, methane can be very advantageous to Kenyan people as a renewable solution to cook food and get energy.